Thank you guys for tuning in on this episode of Cut to the Chase podcast. I sit with my good friend, comedian Vishnu Vaka, on this week's episode. I was very happy that he had time to sit down and talk with me in New York City at Too Much Content Studios. Thank you for Too Much Content Studios for helping me record and film this for Vishnu. I met Vishnu not too long ago in New Jersey while I was doing a show with Godfrey at the Stress Factory. And I met Vishnu and became friends ever since. I've seen him grow as a comedian. He's have since then opened for Godfrey, Russell Peters, Josh Blue, amongst others. And you guys will get the chance to get to know Vishnu a little bit on this episode. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Hope you enjoy, because I certainly did. Vishnu Vaka. Thanks again, guys. Another Cut to the Chase podcast episode with me, Chase Abel. Again, I appreciate all you guys for listening. I'm glad that you are here. I'm very happy for this episode. I got a good friend of mine, a fellow comedian who I've been watching for a little while now. I met him at a show in New Jersey, during the COVID, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, and. He's just a guy that I've been listening to on also other podcasts and his stand-up, and he's kind of an individual that has great conversations, and I want to have a great conversation with him. And he came a little late. I thought black people were known to be just late, but he's Indian, and he was late, and so that's what you get, you know. Yeah. Vishnu, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Thank you for having me here. And again, sorry about being late. But I'm really sticking to my my tradition. It's like you can't be early because then people think you're too eager. You got to be fashionably late.
Right.
I'm just fucking with you.
Well, I don't think. I mean, Indian people in general are very not traditional. They're not. It's not traditionally for them to be late to things, right?
No. Indian people are very late. There is a standard time and an Indian standard time. Yeah. I'm late today not because I'm Indian, but that's true.
But that's true though.
Yeah. Indian people, we are known to be lazy. We are known to be late. We didn't fight British people because that's a lot of work.
Right.
The only reason we got independence was Gandhi came up and he's like, hey, I figured out where we don't have to do anything and still fight. and everybody's like, what is that? And he's like, non-cooperation. We don't do shit for them.
Right.
I would.
That's like how I feel like when my job tells me they're not going to give you my schedule.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing any more overtime for you, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ask me for nothing but 40 hours of work. I'm not doing anything more than that.
and Gandhi experimented with that a little bit. He was like, let's do extra time to show them that we disagree. And people are like, fuck no. How is that ever going to work? How do you work extra time to show them that you disapprove?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like non-cooperation is where we were at.
I feel like you're talking. I think you just kind of defined how my relationship with me and my mom was. Like she's with non-cooperational, non-supportive. Because I think my culture, we're very late to things as well. I'm from Eritrea,
Yeah.
and we're very late to parties, weddings. Every time there's a party, a custom party, traditional custom party, and I feel like a lot of other cultures are that way. There's a start time, but everyone's coming in at least an hour, 2 hours late.
Well, here is the thing. I think all the southern cultures, southern hemisphere cultures, are more laid back like that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for some people, way more laid back than us.
Because people in Africa and India and South America, our days are longer. So you got plenty of time to go somewhere and do something like a party or whatever. And it's not like you're going to freeze to death or something. Whereas with Northern Hemisphere, it's like if you don't get there on time, it's going to be too dark. and you only get so many light hours in during the day.
Right.
So I think traditionally they're more about being on time, and and whereas for us it's like, dude, we have plenty of food, plenty of trees, like
we're good. We got plenty of trees.
Like,
we're good.
Yeah, it's like come in a couple of hours late, so what? Like, where do you got to be? That is literally how we are.
Right. There is a sense of you guys are Indian culture. I'm tapping into it a little bit. Trying to get more educated on like kind of your the Indian basic ideologies and what like drives the people usually, and all those things. But you guys are very like connected to the, I think the basis of Indian people are they're very connected to the earth, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of like they use it as a vessel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, India is a tropical country, so everything is plentiful. Like, I have a bit about that, like, whereas in Western cultures, they had to come up with guns and weapons because they had to go hunt, and then once you hunt, you have to protect your food.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about prehistoric. Like
prehistory.
Right. And then whereas you look at like countries like India and Africa where you have tropical weather and you have a lot of trees and lot of food around you, I literally have to sit under a tree. If I'm like a cave, back in the day,
right,
I don't need to go hunting. I just can sit under a tree and eventually something edible will fall on me and I'm done.
You can just sit under a tree and an apple hits you on your head and be like, yeah, I'm straight.
I'm straight. Yeah, that's literally all I have to do. So, so if you look at like what do you do when you're sitting under a tree? You're thinking like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, what is this world? Like,
that's actually, that is true, because I've had many conversations with myself under trees, and I'm like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah,
Where did my life go?
Yeah,
I've had a lot of those conversations under trees.
And then you start looking and observing things and trying to come up with philosophies like how we're here, how did we get here? Like, what is that thing? What is moon doing to us? What is sun doing to us? All this stuff.
Right.
And then we came up with yoga and literally we only had to stretch. Right? That's all we really needed to do. Once you sit under a tree long enough, you're like, I got to stretch. So that's where yoga came from.
So it's not, okay. So it's more of just like necessity. And then,
yeah. And then whereas you look at Western cultures, they come up with guns and weapons because they have to hunt. They have to kill these things.
Don't forget hip hop.
Hip hop is more like a African. Because
of course. Well, everything comes from like the
because
stems
the
of
beat comes from that. It's not a Western thing.
Yeah.
And someone sitting under a tree came up with the beat.
You got a lot of time on your hands to come up with a beat on it.
Yeah,
right.
and because you're listening to the nature and you're coming up with beats, and then that's what like all the beats are built upon that, right?
On drums,
So
we gotta my culture for sure. Yeah, and then my mom actually she used to get mistaken for Indian many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
if not for my hair, I could pass for a black man. If I shave my head, I could pass for a black man.
What?
As long as I don't open my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because you do look like an uncle of mine. You look like my uncle Josie.
Josie?
Yeah.
I bet he's a great looking man.
He is. He's smooth. he's a pastor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you guys kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, I tell jokes.
He does too.
Okay.
Pastors do too. In my opinion. Is so at this point, right now, we met at the Stress Factory.
Godfrey was headlining.
Yeah.
I think you were featuring for him, or
I was hosting.
You're hosting.
I was hosting. Yeah. I was hosting. Yeah. And we met at the show, and then you always was just cool, and you were just chilling, and then we hung out after.
Yeah.
We were just chilling, vibing, and I think we just.
That's like I hung out with you guys the year before. Like you weren't there. I think Godfrey was there.
Yeah.
And then I love coming to that club when Godfrey is around, because first of all he sells that whole place.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like every comedian that comes up there is just like boom, 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 like
Yeah.
So and it's close to my house, so I always look up like when Godfrey is coming around and come and hang around.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's played a very huge part.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that I've done in comedy, stuff like that, and just being around him, not necessarily even just the other stuff, just being around an individual who has that level of comedy years and perspective on it. I'm one of these individuals. I don't talk a lot. I mean, it's probably hard to base that off within the first 10 minutes of this podcast, but I generally don't. I'm very reserved, and I like to listen and observe things. So sitting in silence, you know. And I learned a lot by watching him on stage and just being influenced by him. And I mean, you know the energy of shows he's done, but we met and over pizza. You bought us pizza. That was cool. I was like, he has to be my boy now. Any guy you just meet that buys you a whole pizza, you got to be friends with that guy.
But you guys let me hang out with you guys. I mean, all of you had a great show, and you have literally hundreds of people that came to hang out with you, and you were hanging out with me, and I was like, dude, the least I could do is buy you guys a pizza.
Yeah.
So it was a mutual
exchange.
Yeah.
You're right. I could have hung out with somebody else. That's true.
Yeah.
But if I had the pizza all day.
Oh yeah.
Pizza all day.
And that pizza is really good.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
The brick oven right next to Stress. And it's cheap too. It's only $2 a slice.
There's a Jamaican food restaurant not next to there as well, right?
Yeah, there is.
That was real good.
The area is pretty good.
New Brunswick, right?
New Brunswick.
Yeah. How's that? So you're from Jersey? Well, I know you're from India originally, but did you grow up? When did you come to Jersey?
I moved to Jersey in 2009.
From India?
No, from Columbus. I grew up. Dude, I moved here when I was 14.
Okay, gotcha.
I moved to West Virginia. I lived there for a few years, and then we moved to Columbus, Ohio. We were there for almost 10, 15 years, and then I moved to Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was like, okay, it's all right. I thought it was a different path, but that was.
People think that because of my accent. I never really tried to change my accent. I could have I moved here when I was younger, 14, 15. I was 14 when I moved here.
Wow.
So it wasn't too late for me to change my accent.
Right.
But every time I do it, it just felt weird at the time for me. Change the way I pronounce, the way I move my tongue,
Mm-hmm.
On top of it, I moved to West Virginia. And to tell you the truth, I always felt like my accent is cooler. West Virginia accent is really.
I don't.
Yeah, I want to pick that one up. Of all the accents.
What's up? How do they talk? I don't know. Is it country mixed with a little? What is it?
It's not even that. It's just all my friends at the time we were all into the Italian mafia movies.
Yeah.
Carlito's Way and all these old movies like Scarface and all these mob movies, and all my friends are trying to speak in Italian accents. And these are white kids. And I'm like, dude,
that adds up. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, okay, the only reason they're trying to speak with that accent is because they think Italians are cool. So if I change my accent, then I'm accepting that I'm not cool enough.
Okay.
That I have to change the way I speak so I could be considered cool.
Because you'd be considered cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to make my accent cool.
I am looking at you. You do kind of look like an Indian Al Capone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, you do. You kind of you got that.
The vibe.
The vibe.
Yeah.
You got the Indian Al Capone vibe. But that's the thing, though, Vishnu, isn't it? That people do that. A lot of people don't understand how important that is to be yourself as much as you can, or try to be as authentic as you can, because a lot of people get either peer pressured. They feel like that they have to conform to
It also has to do with the pride, because when I moved here, I hated myself in a way, because see, when I grew up in India, I that was my culture, right? I know my culture, and I know how we think and who we are.
Yeah.
So I was proud of who I was. And then I moved here, and then all of a sudden I had people telling me go back to your country, or like things like, you guys are third world country, you guys live in shitholes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we don't live in shitholes. Our country is not that fucked up. And the only reason it was fucked up is because British people looted us. And nobody talks about that. And then I used to get into, West Virginia, it's not very hard to get into these conversations. And I had people tell me straight up.
That's like a polite way of saying, yeah, they don't like us down here, down here.
Yeah, and they would tell me like, oh, we white people are so much better. I mean, these are people telling me right on my face, like, we are superior because we invented all this, and we are superior. That's why we were able to rule you.
It's hilarious.
And for me, the history I know is totally different from what they're telling me.
Well, yeah.
It's like, okay, did you guys make up your own fucking history? Like there's always these half-truths they talk. They will be like, karma, you guys believe in karma, which means if someone is suffering, you should let them suffer. And that is not the case. That's only half the thing that you know. The idea is that if someone is suffering, you help them, you build good karma.
Yes.
Which negates your bad karma. So it's not like just because you did something wrong, that doesn't mean you have to for sure suffer. If you can repent it and do something to negate that action.
That, yeah.
And they don't know that. They just know this one part, and they hung on to that, saying like, you guys don't care about suffering of, like, you have no idea what my culture is.
Right.
And there people come up to me like, you guys pray to cows. What the fuck? And I'm like, okay, if I pray to cow, how does it concern you?
Okay, yeah.
And the second thing is, we don't pray to cow, but a tropical country, if you have a cow, it has so many benefits. Like you have the milk, like mothers, like we all grew up drinking cow milk.
Yo, son, everyone should have a picture of a cow in their house.
Yeah, I mean,
like, you know what I mean? Like
you are until 3 or 4 years old. Like your mom, probably you were drinking mother's milk maybe for 1 year, but until you are literally like 15, 16, you're drinking cow milk.
Bro, I just had a glass of milk yesterday, bro.
Yeah,
I had a whoopie pie. I had to wash it down. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
bro? Like I have milk all the time.
Yeah, and then you have farmers till their soil with the ox, and then you have a cow and an ox. Mm-hmm. That is literally you're living off of, and they are similar to the way we are in terms of like the biologically.
Right.
That's why we are able to consume the cow milk and survive. And they also carry their child 9 months in the womb. Yeah. Just like humans.
Yes.
So when you see that, for us it's not something we could eat. Like you don't eat a dog. Like I went on a date with a girl. I'm not even kidding. True story. Mm-hmm. She ordered a steak. I have no problem with someone eating steak. I don't eat it because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
But I don't mind.
You grew up with like that not eating, like it's, you believe that that's right.
So she got this slab of steak. She was digging into it.
How did she get it though? Medium, medium rare? I'm just.
It was like a rare medium, like it's a little pinkish.
Pinkish.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining about that. Okay. That's not the issue.
All right.
As she was digging into it, she started talking about how Koreans eat dogs. She was like, I can't believe those people eat dogs.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't believe you eat a cow.
Right.
Did you see? I'm like, right. if you want to talk about privilege,
it's an animal. That's an animal versus an animal.
Yeah, it's like
an animal. Yeah.
We love dogs. We to look at them as pets. So hence we can't eat them. Doesn't mean we pray to them or we, it's the same for us cows. Like cows are something that we don't want to eat.
Right.
And we have like ancient. How you have the horse with the the unicorns.
Yeah, unicorns. Yeah.
Yeah, these are like mythical, like awesome animals, right?
You First would never of all, don't ever say they're mythical in front of my face. Okay. I still believe.
Okay. So,
come on, son.
So you believe it. So would you ever think about if you say I would like to eat some unicorn meat?
No.
You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you'd be like, what's going on? Yeah.
So for us, we have.
First, actually, I'd be like, where do you get that? Is that an actual thing? Secondly, it's not a thing.
Yeah, right? And we have a mythical creature called Kamadhenu, which is literally a cow that gives you there's no limit to the amount of milk it gives you.
What? Where do you get that?
It's a mythical animal.
Damn.
But it's like, it's like you want to have.
I want that in my place.
So you want everyone wants that. Like, everyone wants their cow to be that cow that,
Right.
So for us, it's a very part of like, in India, like people live in huts, and they use cow dung to in the not anymore, but in the older houses, they literally mix cow dung with water, and slab their entire flooring.
Yeah.
Because cow dung, because it eats grass, it has antioxidants in it that what do you call anti like bacterial microbial, like
Yeah, shit that cleans out you, right?
Yeah,
that's why we.
Yeah. So when you,
I get it.
So when you,
I don't know words, B. We can just get straight to the point on this podcast.
No, I'm getting to.
Yeah, I just cut to the chase on this.
So I'm getting to cutting to the chase.
It's all good. No,
so
for me, I don't know words. I'll be like, yeah, he's trying to say shit that cleans you out. Like,
no, it's not about cleaning you out. Like when you put it on your when your flooring consists of that.
Yeah.
Bugs don't come into your house because they don't like that smell. And snakes don't come into your house because they don't like that smell.
So you put it on.
And then you have antibacterial properties coming from that is preventing you getting sick in your house. So
can you get that on Amazon?
So yeah, you can. Okay. You can buy cow dung. So literally, you got cows from the tip, from this tip till that other end.
Right.
They're helping you out. So why the fuck would you eat them?
I get you.
So that's where we come from.
That's where you come from. Yeah. It's a basis. And that's a certain level of kind of consciousness, commitment to a certain consciousness, value system.
Yeah.
And being kind of unapologetic in a way, and just really committing to those set of ideas and values. I mean, we in my country, we do eat meat. We are a meat-based.
But
country.
You don't think about eating a cat or a dog. No, right?
No.
Because they're pets.
Yeah.
Cows are our pets.
Okay. Yeah.
That's literally as simple.
That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
when I moved here, everything is an issue with people. Like, I don't know why the fuck they care that I don't eat a cow. Like, like how does it, like I was at this comedy club performing. The owner comes up to me and he goes, "We have a great steak here." And I was like, oh, that's great, man. I let my friends know, like, I'm not.
I don't eat meat. Yes,
and then he comes back. He's like, "We have great steak, bro. You're missing out." I was like, "I know, dude. A lot of people told me steak tastes good."
Yeah, but I just don't eat it.
But I don't eat it.
Right.
But he comes back again. I'm like, "Yo, man, what the fuck are you trying to prove to me?"
Right.
Like, it's like, why do you have to go that extra mile to annoy me?
Yeah.
It's
a thing. It's. I've never enjoyed that way of thinking, or even I like to remove myself from people who think like that way. Especially as comedians, right? Yeah. It's a little different for us, right? Because we already kind of think a little outside the box anyways, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of commit, in my opinion. I don't know I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but most comedians from what I understand kind of just live with the sense of like, all right, anything is like open. Like this, like I'm not really committed to really anything.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not right. I have a certain level of perspective and stuff like that. But there are certain like principles that I stand by and values. That I won't compromise for anybody.
Yeah.
And people who tend to kind of make you belittle you or marginalize your way of thinking. It's just not good. It's a way of control, in my opinion, and that is kind of the basis of what's people. Like you said, people here don't know Russian history, like at all.
They don't want to know. They know their version of the history.
Yeah, they want their what they've been taught.
Right now, we have a debate going on in this country to teach whether to teach our kids what happened or not.
Yeah,
is that even a fucking debate, bro?
It is.
Like how how do you make that? Like, what do you teach if you don't teach them what happened? You're gonna make up some silly shit to cover up these, like from 1600s to 1800s. We're not going to talk about what happened. We're just going to make up some shit. We have like kings and we have wizards and witches and all these great people living in a let's talk about that. Let's talk about Harry Potter. Let's not talk about slavery.
Right. Let's talk about, the great time of like the industrial period, but we won't talk about who built that.
Who built it.
Or,
I mean, literally people, going back to that pride thing in West Virginia, I had people tell me like, you guys are poor because you're not a Christian and God is punishing you. That's what people told me. I'm like, no, British people stole our shit. God wasn't punishing us. It's the fucking assholes that stole our shit and made us poor. Right? And there are the same people that came to us with 10 commandments saying like, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not, and you're stealing from us. And
it's wild.
And then you wonder why we didn't convert. Like right now, missionaries, the biggest debate missionaries in this world are having is, how the fuck
you said missionary? What?
Missionaries, like
missionaries. My bad.
Like because missionaries.
I was about to say missionaries, not a fucking. We don't need to talk about that. That's, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about missionary.
My bad.
I'm talking about the people that convert. Like they couldn't convert Indians, right? They've been trying since almost like 1300s.
Right.
They only even now there's only 10% of Christians in India. And that is considered a failure for them because everywhere else where missionaries went, their success rate is very high, and they're like, how come we couldn't convert them? And it's just that you came up to us saying that you have 10 commandments, but they are not going to be, you're not going to honor them when you deal with us, and you expect us to follow that.
It's
it's one of the aspects.
It's one of the aspects of that. Yeah,
that didn't work. So when I went and when I faced all these conversations with people where I had to defend myself or my culture, which I never had to do before, and it's not even defend. It's just like where do I stop you from uttering one more nonsense? It's like you have it's a constant barrage of half truths and what do you call prejudice.
Yeah.
It's when do you stop? Like now I can tell people like, dude, I have no time to explain to you. Why don't you just go Google it?
Go do it.
I could do it now.
Yeah.
But back then I couldn't.
I had somebody example. I agree with you 100%. I had a girl send me when this whole thing, the height of the Black Lives Matter thing was going on after George Floyd.
Yeah.
She sent me a text literally saying, hey, what black-owned restaurants do you know that I can post on my page?
Yeah.
And I sent her back to her and I said, as soon as you get black friends,
you will know.
And then you'll know.
Yep.
That's true. I ended that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to come out. You can be friends with whoever you like.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to choose who you want to be in that. But what I'm saying is, if you're specifically asking a person I'm not going to be used as an education vessel when you have the same resources that to learn for yourself. Right. So because for me, it's not so much a matter of her not knowing. She could not know, and there could be many reasons why she doesn't know.
Yeah.
But the will to not go on to know, that disturbs me more than anybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's you just don't want to.
Yeah, it's so overwhelming, bro. Because in my entire school, I'm the only Indian guy, and I have 500 other kids who have these weird prejudices about me, be it whatever it is.
Right.
Right. How do I approach these 500 people and let them know I'm just like you?
Right.
How do I do that? That's so fucking overwhelming. Right?
Yeah.
It's like every person I meet, I'm thinking in my head, does this person think I'm weird? Does this person have some weird thought that he thinks I am like that?
Yeah.
How do I find out? How do I change him to literally accept me as another human, as an equal human being?
That's the thing. This country was pretty much, regardless of what people's school of thought on it is, that what I'm saying is it was based on the idea that we are better than these group of people.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only, you have to first acknowledge that.
Yeah.
If you don't first acknowledge that, you're not going to get to where we need to go, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as people understand that, the history where people came here literally by, and wanted to steal and take the land and kill people, it starts there. And then that starts the idea of like I'm better, we're equal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, they're living like less than. Meanwhile, you're. This is the funny thing about like, you know, racism and prejudice, right?
Yeah.
You have people that believe in those ideas, right? That
Yeah.
that are, and they will say you were from a country that shithole, doesn't do
Yeah.
anything, this and
Yeah.
that, but they're talking to you in your Mercedes Benz in front of like all the groceries you just bought, $400 groceries.
Yeah.
Well, they have a fucking, you know,
Yeah.
like they're, you know, they,
Yeah.
you know, they like they're
Yeah.
just. They don't. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what we do as
Yeah.
like people, as like
Yeah.
of color or whatever the case may be. There's people that are no matter how much we prove to ourselves
Yeah.
and to them
Yeah.
that we can do it just as good,
Yeah.
which we have.
Yeah.
They always put us down.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's just it's a disease. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
You don't understand like how like I have a lot of Muslim friends, like girls who are Muslims,
Alhamdulillah.
and when I hang out with them, right,
Mhm.
there will be like there is always some white dude. This makes me literally puke. Like, you know, who thinks that somehow he's going to rescue these Muslim girls from their hijab, and they don't understand these girls like wearing their
That's what
hijab.
they want. Yeah.
You know, and
Very comfortable, by
and
the
it
way.
started from my culture. Islam started in desert. You have desert storms. Your hair goes
Shout out
crazy.
DJ Clue.
Yeah, your hair goes crazy. That's where the hijab started.
Mhm.
The head coverings. It's not like they were trying to hide their woman. It's not like they were trying to restrict their woman. It's just that protect them from the heat, from the sand.
Ah.
And then when the nomadic tribes, they're moving in the desert, when you meet a new nomadic tribe,
Mhm.
men act with their dicks. You know that. We all know that.
You just told me.
Right.
I didn't know.
So you got these nomadic
Not this
tribes
guy.
coming after your woman, and what do? As soon as another tribe coming at you, you are like hide your woman, like hide, like let them not.
You
see
all
you.
let them not see. Yeah. You
because
gotta hide your wifey. You gotta
because
hide your boo.
You don't want them to rape them or kill them,
Fuck
or,
no.
because these are like
Yeah,
these are like, back in the day when they came up with these
Crusades.
hijabs and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's where they came from. Like, who are you to like just know half truth, and whatever your people told you to assume that those people are suffering. Like,
Yeah.
they never came and told you they're suffering. Like, if a woman comes up to you and
Right.
says like, "Hey, my culture is oppressing me," like, help her.
Right.
Help her get away from
Get
that
away
situation.
from the situation.
But
Right.
don't assume every woman you meet is oppressed.
Is oppressed. Right.
You know?
It's that
And it's
fine
like-
line of critical
yeah,
thinking.
it's like-
you know?
It is like the prejudice of people is what pisses me off. Like,
Yeah.
and it was overwhelming when I was growing up, because being the only Indian guy in the entire school, it's like, how many people's minds can I change today to accept them as me as a regular person?
Right.
Without me pandering to like being like them,
Right.
being me. who
This
I
is
am.
this is the thing that people who think that way
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Yeah.
Until you walk in the shoes of a person who
Yeah.
is not the same color as you.
Yeah.
These are the things they don't have to think about. You know what I'm saying?
But the good thing is, I think now that with Google and with the information that we have now,
yeah.
before back in the day, even if you want to find out about another culture, you don't have resources.
You have resources.
So you would kind of always fall back into the prejudice that were taught to you. But now, as a human race, I think we should advance faster and be better, because like if you want to know about India, you literally go and Google like India.
This is my thing, though. I'm gonna say this though. No matter what I believe is like, no matter how much information is out there for people to no matter how much information is out there for
Yeah.
them to get this the history or my belief is that you can have so much tools at your hips, disposal, I should say. I believe it starts with like
The will. Yeah.
and
yeah.
the one to like, Denzel Washington said something. He's quoted like love or
Yeah.
equality, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "Love. You can't legislate like love.
Yeah.
You can't make people do that. It has to
Yeah.
come from like the will
Oh,
of
yeah.
of interactions, and it has to come from like a place of
Yeah.
the soul.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's just people on this earth that
Yeah.
that will never reach that level of
Yeah.
of a place where they can accept people for who they are.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
That is a fact.
That's a fact. I mean, take about numbers, right? There's
But-
8 billion people in the world,
But
right?
I'm just hoping like
Oh, from
now it's like because there are resources, at least people that want to know the truth. Because if you approach anyone with a negativity, you will find negatives of them, right? But if you at least come up with a clear blank slate, thinking like, why would this entire group of people would act this way? What caused them to do that? Then you can figure out where that came from.
They couldn't. They wanted Air Force One, son.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, like I justify the entire British people coming to India in a way because they didn't have shit there, and for them, from a cold continent where they are from, it's all about saving their loot from other people. Whereas when you go to a tropical country, it's like sharing your loot because you have a lot.
You have a lot. It's more plentiful.
And so when British came to India, they were like, hey, we will trade with you. We want to trade. And Indians are like, let's trade.
Let's trade.
East India Company started.
Right.
And then they were like, well, fuck trading with you guys. We're just going to occupy you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But that's where they came from. Like initially they came as traders.
Yeah.
So it's like if people
there's a great documentary you should watch. It's called on HBO. I think it came out a couple years ago. It's called Exterminate the Brutes.
Yeah.
It's a good documentary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it explains exactly what we just talked about.
Dude,
yeah.
I've tried, talking about the whale, like I'm a history buff. I learned about civil rights.
I'm surprised. I thought it'd be more bodybuilding.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm all about bodybuilding. You mean?
You got a good. I mean, you did wear your glasses. You wore your glasses here very confidently. That's what annoyed me at first because you put anyone that wears glasses and put it like this. I feel like they have they're good. They have a 401k. Like people that wear.
Because I lose them.
When men wear the glasses like this, I feel like they have their life together. Like,
oh really?
I feel like they either a dad like lives in Malibu.
So how do you wear them?
When a man puts his glasses like this to rest, I feel like he's confident in himself. Like for some reason, it's like he's confident he can leave his glasses hanging off his shirt. Like, and if he loses them, he's like, I don't care. Like, I can buy another one. That's why
it really says I don't have a care in the world.
Yeah, right.
Oh, really? How do you protect them then? Like, do you put them in a case or something?
Yeah, you just don't wear them. You just don't take them.
You come out like it's sunny outside and you wear it. You walk inside. Where do you put them?
You could put them on your head. Put them like right up top of your head.
But then how you have grease in your hair.
Vishnu, I want to preface to you that anything that I say is that there's no practicality behind it. I don't make sense. I'm just saying
I just want to stretch it on that because
you're doing way better, man. You're good.
No, bro, I just wanted to.
I'm just saying stuff to how I think, and I try to make sense of it. It doesn't make sense to nobody. So,
dude, I'm always trying to learn better ways to do things, dude.
Oh, you're not gonna get it from this guy.
If there's a better way where I don't lose my glasses and I could carry them, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so with the comedy itself, with all this that you had to deal with, I shared those same similar experiences being an immigrant, a refugee coming from Eritrea. My level, the immigrant mentality is a real thing.
Yeah,
it is. People don't people need to understand this. It's like we came from me and you we came from situations that were really serious that forced our family to leave and to come over here for a better life and for better opportunities, better resources, better information. I have a friend who says, he has a joke. His name's Tamer. He's really funny, and he has a joke. He says, well, it's not even a joke. It's more maybe it's more of like a premise where he gets into his joke. But he says, as far as with the immigrant thing, where people say, well, people should come here the right way and this and that, and all these people are coming from shithole countries.
Yeah.
Tamer's like, listen, man. Yeah, there's always gonna be bad. If you have large groups of people, there's always gonna be sectors of people that are gonna be shit people.
Yeah.
There's just.
But here is the thing, bro. I can't. That shithole country thing pisses me off. Though.
Yeah, but let me finish the statement before you get that. What Tamer says to counter that those statements made by people.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, man. They're not coming from You're getting the most of the time, all the time actually, you're getting the best of where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And but like you said, it's not like shithole countries. They're just like this. They have a way of. They have a way of projecting a narrative that where we come from,
Yeah.
based on through media or through radio or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
or just not even giving them the information at all. They think like, it's just that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, every country that you can call a shithole country was literally looted by someone else. I'm not even kidding you. Every country that you state as a shithole country was a country where the wealth was taken out and being used by one of the Western powers, and they turn around and it's
There's
like
one country in Africa that did it. Was Ethiopia. Ethiopia was never colonized by any Western country.
It was probably colonized by its own people.
Never colonized. Oh, well, by its own people.
Who were working with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck,
Vishnu, damn it.
Obviously, Ethiopia is where they're hiding Wakanda, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's where me and Irish is going next, baby. Yeah. I was like, shit, I thought I had one.
No, I mean,
Right.
the other day some guy was like, it was like one of those comments I was reading. I read comments. So some guy was like, Africa, man, like they got, that's a shit. Like, they were talking about, like, it was about the whole Ukraine thing. Like someone was like, yo, man, there are 6 countries we were in armed conflict with in Africa where people are dying every day and we don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're all worried about Ukraine. And the guy was like, well, those are all shithole countries. And I'm like, dude, like, you know how much wealth that was. Now, those countries will support us. That's what he said. He said, those countries will support us because they want our what do you call, like the donations or whatever.
Yes.
They want our money.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're not giving them your money. Like, you stole their money and you're just sharing a little bit back to them.
Right.
Like how much wealth was transferred out of Africa versus how much was donated to Africa.
Oh,
like,
please.
Is there even a comparison
Not
to
even
that?
close.
So
Not even close.
So when you say shithole countries, it's like, are they really shithole countries? Are we really truly happy in America? How many people?
This is the thing. When the people, like the countries of Africa, if they ever get to a place where they can actually get to just dealing with themselves, each other, trading with each other, you only using their resources with each other, leveraging their resources with each other, only with each other, and just block any trades outside of anything. Yeah. The world will not. It will not operate.
Yeah.
It won't operate.
Yeah.
The amount of natural resources in Africa that the world relies on to move.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Literally.
Like, they have no idea. You won't have a world.
Why do you think
all the shit comes from Africa? Like, I don't understand why people still don't understand this. You keep shitting on Africa. Africa will eventually be like, all right.
Did you watch the movie Blood Diamond?
We're gonna be good over here, player.
Bro, did you watch the movie Blood Diamond?
Of course, my dad was in it. Sorry.
In that movie, there's a dialogue, like the guy was like, yo, how do you feel about finding diamonds in our country? And the guy is like, I'm glad they didn't find oil.
Bars. Mad bars. Mad bars, bro. That's what I'm saying. The amount of natural resources in Africa, but this it starts with, I don't know. I don't know where it starts. I don't. But people who know, they know. And the people who don't know.
Dude, it's all right, bro.
Yeah,
now
it's
we
all
got
good.
Indian people at Google, Microsoft.
Y'all are good.
Yeah, we're going to fix it all up.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is like, well, you got the power to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just literally just be like, oh, y'all fucking with us? Let's just take your Wi-Fi off. How about that?
Dude.
You have the power to take people's Wi-Fi away, man. You know how powerful that is, bro?
It is, bro. It is.
Like, just like the CEO of like Google's Indian, right? He's
Google, Microsoft.
Yeah, he could be like, nah, we're good.
Facebook, not Facebook. I think Twitter. And then, and what else? There is one more. There is, dude. There's one.
There's one more. I mean, listen, you start at Google. That's enough. Like everyone, I think you'd make a nice dent in Google's subscriptions if the CEO of Google was like, all right, guys, you don't keep fucking with Indian people. Here we go. You know?
But they don't do it that way, though. They just turn into white people.
They what?
As soon as they get rich, they turn into white people in a way.
Wait. like rich, very corporate, like rich white people.
And it's all of a sudden, it's like, dude, like I work.
We did talk about this before. Like an Indian rich person, yo, that's a different level of like, that's a different type of dude right there. Well, like I've met like rich Indian people before. The way they move is like the way they operate, how they treat people.
Oh yeah. Well, here is the thing, though. The people that you
Like,
met,
yo, we came up, daddy. We ain't going back, son.
now the people that became rich that came here in 60s and 70s, they're not the regular Indian people that you're seeing now. That like since 2000 is when like regular common Indian people are moving here. We are not rich yet. We are only here for 10, 15 years now.
Right.
But the people
I had like
before that,
I had like 3 Indian people in my high school.
yeah, the people that were really rich back then are like had enough resources to either they are really rich in India.
Actually, they were Dominican. I could be wrong. Sorry.
Oh, just take the Dominicans and blame it,
Yeah,
blame it on Indians.
they could have been
I see how it
Dominican. I
is.
think it was. His last
Just
name was.
blame it on
Well,
the
his first
Indians.
name was like Rohit, and his last name was like Mendoza. I was confused.
Half Indian, half Dominican.
Woo, good hair.
Yeah.
Very good hair.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No.
yeah.
I lost my thought.
Yeah.
The whole thing about how those
The money,
people,
the money, yeah.
money, like
Yeah.
they come from rich. When the people that moved here in 60s and 70s, you can't move to America if you're poor or they didn't come here looking for opportunity. They didn't come here with they are very well off. They're very well educated, and they got visas, like
Right.
to either they're like how if you invest like 500,000 you can get a green card. There's a thing
Oh.
where if you
I never had to
invest-
buy one. My shit
if you
was
come and
off,
buy
the,
a business,
off the rip. My shit
if you
was.
if you come to America and buy a business
Right.
and you're providing jobs,
Yes. Oh, I did hear that recently.
You get a green card.
You get a green card.
yeah, and a lot of people came like that.
Right.
And those people, if you're rich back in 60s and 50s, chances are your ancestors worked with the British.
Okay. Right.
And so you come with a selfish heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's no wonder they come here and they act like,
Yeah.
There's so many people that like came here, their uncles or aunts, like when I was young, they'll be like, yo man, they moved to America and they don't even talk to us.
They don't talk to us, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but now like since 2000s where like real IT people are coming, these are like regular people who worked hard, get a job,
Right.
came to America, and you will see they are much more nicer and they're more regular.
Oh
because-
yeah. I just had to talk to like she was Indian and she just helped me out with my business line account on T-Mobile customer service. Yo, I didn't have to pay. I waited 2 more weeks. She gave me an extension.
Yeah,
Mad nice Indian chick.
yeah,
She was good.
yeah. I mean, I'm
She's like, yeah, she's
I'm
like-
thankful for her for making us look good.
She was like, I'm an expert. She's like, this is business. I think she's like, I
Yeah.
don't know, an Indian.
Because it's again overwhelming, bro. There'll be some asshole Indian guy does one asshole like doesn't leave enough tip, and then next 100 Indian people are looked at like these motherfuckers don't tip, And I feel like I'm responsible that I have to make sure that that's fixed.
Oh yeah, we have that too. Black people, we have that shit too. When we're like, there's like black people in like one area, and there's like a lot of white people, and there's like that one black person that's just like be acting mad ghetto, and we be looking at each other like, God damn, you can be acting like a nigga in front of these white people. Like, what the fuck's going on? We be like, God damn, man, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like
stop representing, yo, stop.
stop, fucking just shut up. Order your Boston cream donut and get the hell out the fucking,
Dude.
It's just like I said, I think it comes from interactions.
Yeah.
Having a certain level of respect for people at a very, very baseline level. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people in general, I should say, that they live they live vicariously through other people.
Yeah.
And they don't know themselves. They don't have an identity.
Yeah.
They haven't established a way of values and boundaries where they stick to keep them solid. And when you just kind of are easily influenced by things.
Especially when you are displaced and you move into a place where it's a foreign culture, then you slowly tend to forget who you really are, like your values, because they're all like over, you're looking at other people. Like, for example, like in India, like talking to a girl is like, you got to be very respectful. Like, you don't just go like,
you can't be,
Yeah, I mean, there are people
even
that
my
do
country,
it.
you can't come up and be like, yo, what's poppin', ma?
Yeah, because
what's
I
cool?
mean, there are assholes that do it, like, that make like, past comments on women walking by.
Yeah.
But that's not an acceptable form of way of living.
Yeah,
Like,
the general practice is going up to the
like,
woman,
you
asking,
go up to, you talk to a woman, you show respect. Like, you show composure.
Yes.
And And then when I moved here, like, I was surprised because everything is about sex here. Like, a woman passes by, everyone looks at her ass. At least in high school, for me, that was like very frowned upon when I moved here. It's like you don't check her out, like,
You don't look at her as an object.
And for me, it's like I have to look at a girl's face.
Right.
And I'm also kind of a face person too, so I like to look at people's face, and then that's like that used.
That's
to
the
come
funniest
across.
thing I've heard fucking all day today. I'm a face person.
Yeah. I'm all about faces.
I was like, that literally set
It
me
could
off
be
the
like
fucking, like, when you said that, I'm like, oh shit, he's looking at my face right now. What is he thinking? Like, you had me in a weird state.
Yeah, it's just like I
You like the personability.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, for example, I'm
Don't even know
hanging
if that's
out
a
with a
word.
friend of mine. Every girl I want to check out, I look at her, I make an eye contact, and my friend is just checking out asses, and then like later on, she's like, that Indian dude was hitting on me. And that other dude next to him, he's super cool. He wasn't even like, but it's the other way. Like, that dude was checking your ass out. You didn't know that. I was the one who was like giving you eye contact. Like,
Maybe the way he was looking at her fucking
freaked her out.
freaked her out, and she was like, the other dude was giving her. She like that. Listen, there's some girls out here in these streets, bro, that they just want to get it in, player. They don't care about none of that chivalry shit. They're just like, I know what you're saying.
It's a weird, like when people like, it happened to me like a couple of times, like where somebody came up to me and they're like, yo, man, this girl was saying that you're hitting on her. And I was like, she's pretty, but I don't think I even had a conversation with her. Like, I just smiled at her once. And then later on, I realized, like, just me looking at her and smiling at her, she looked at it as if I'm hitting on her.
Oh, so she took it wrong.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, those are all these things you gotta figure out. Now I gotta get more sneaky. Like, you want to check out a girl, I'm gonna check her out from behind, right?
Listen, I think that's just one thing that, like, I think guys would never really stop.
Yeah,
like a woman walks by, they're just looking.
Yeah.
All
It was a big thing.
Okay.
Like, when I moved here, I was very confused.
Yeah. No, there's listen, traditions here are very, cultures and traditions are different, right?
Yeah.
In different places.
Yeah, it's not something I hate on. It's just something different. It's like it took me a while to figure out stuff.
Right. And I guess how long from there, I guess from like not understanding the practices of looking at a girl's ass, how did that segue you into comedy?
Well, first, here's what happened. Here's what happened.
You're probably like, I don't get this shit. I gotta try something else.
This is what happened because girls started thinking I'm gay because I'm not checking out their asses. Now I had to be funny and let them know that I'm gay. Because here's the problem: they never told me I'm gay. They think I'm gay. They just told other people that they think I'm gay. So now I have to somehow bring up this topic with them and let them know that I'm not gay. In fact, I'm interested in you. How do you do that? I got to go to comedy, right?
Or Xanax.
That's where the comedy came from. I didn't want to do Xanax, so I went with comedy.
Better choice. better choice. Yeah, a lot of pressures, right? It's interesting. And comedy has been good to you so far.
Yeah, I moved a lot since I was like little. Even in India, I changed 14 schools.
Oof.
And everywhere I go, the quickest way to make friends is like you sit in your seat and make a couple of jokes, and the people next to you started talking to you, and then that's how you build your group, right?
Right.
So that's where it came from.
And you like it, you love it, huh?
Oh yeah. That's the only place where
I saw you open up for Russell Peters. How was that?
He's such a nice guy. I just went to say hi to him because he's one of the reasons I got into comedy. Like watching an Indian person come on stage and just kill it, and this is like multi-ethnic audience.
I love Russell Peters.
I was like, this shit is possible. Like, we can go up and talk to like these people, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, I could do it too. So for me, he's like the guy that paved the path for me.
Right.
So when I went and bought a ticket in Pittsburgh to see him, and because COVID, they wouldn't like. At the end, I was like, can I go say hi to him? And they were like, no, it's COVID. I was like, I'm a comic, and once I messaged him on Instagram saying like, can I come and see you? Mm-hmm. And he said sure. So I showed them that like I'm a comic, and I even messaged him, and he said sure.
Yes.
And they were like, okay, let me go check with him.
Let's go check, make sure.
And then they went and checked, and they were like, yeah, he told you to come. Right. And I went in, and as soon as I walked in, He looks at me, he goes like, "You're a comic, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, did they tell you? Like, and he's like, "No, I saw one of your clips online. You're funny." And I was like, "Dude, I was like in the moon." Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I was like,
that's Russell Peter, because I don't know Russell. I know people that do, and I have mutual people that do, mutual friends that know him, and they all share the same experience with him. It's all he's very nice and very
down to earth, bro. And he literally said, "You know what? You're funny. You want to do 5 minutes?
That's nice.
Next show." I was like, dude. And then I came out and I didn't want to say, like, how like I did 5 minutes in front of Russell. That doesn't mean I literally opened for him. Like, he let me open for him later on.
Yes, a spot.
And then he was like, I came out. I was like, someone was like, "Hey, guess what? You opened for Russell." And I was like, I don't know if I could say that. Like, and Russell was like, "No, you can say that. You fucking opened for me."
Right, exactly. That's what I said before. Like, that's exactly what I said.
No, but like him saying that.
You see me right? I was like, yeah, you just a guest spot. And he was like, yeah, Russell said that was fine. I was like, yeah, exactly. That's what whatever Russell.
No, but
comics are so fucking. We're just like, yeah, whatever he said, yeah.
But like him saying that like validates it for me, right? Like, I don't want to be the sneaky guy who went and did a guest spot and then act like, oh, I opened for,
I know those people are. Ugh.
Yeah,
there's comics like that. They do that.
Yeah, but he himself, and then he was at Rochester, and I was like, "Can I come to Rochester?" And he paid for my hotel. I'm still doing guest spot. I didn't feature for him. I didn't host for him.
Right.
But he paid for my hotel, and he let me stay there for 3 days, and like he let me do guest spot like
good.
3 days.
That's a good person to have in your corner, man. That's good. I mean, he's a legend. For real.
I'm just glad that happened, but I'm not going to, because like I can't take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was talking with I was talking with a friend of mine about that earlier. I think one of the producers here, we were talking about it, right, Yanni? Yeah, like we were talking about the idea of like there's a lot of people, I think, because you are if you align yourself with certain people, or if they extend that hand to you, that you should base that and always expect that's going to happen. And that's not the way to think, in my opinion. This business obviously that we're in, I think, forget about business, just in life. You know, you're just as successful who helps you out. Yeah. Right. So, but don't if you rely on it, then that's not a healthy way of thinking, because number one, you're starting now to kind of only be around what's opportunistic for you, and then now it gets to an area where it's not based on any authenticity or genuine.
You just want that
opportunity. You just want it, and I hate and I'm very, very good at reading people like that. Yeah. Like, so as soon as I feel like you're like that, I'm walking the other way.
You can read people that. It's very easy to.
It's very easy.
Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, I don't think I would have actually went up to after the show and asked them if I could go speak to Russell. And then when he offered me the guest spot, I wouldn't have accepted it if I didn't think I could do it. Because a lot of people, they can't do it, and they take the offer, and then they ruin it not only for themselves, for everyone else behind them. Yeah. Because then they see that, and they be like, "Yo, man, I can't keep having these comics that suck come up and open for me because I don't know you." So when you approach a comic, you gotta be like, okay, I'm at this level now. Like, you gotta
be honest of where you are at.
Yeah. Like if I open for him, if I do a guest spot, I'm not going to bomb.
Right.
At least for this
there's
audience.
An etiquette to it. There's a process to it. Yeah. Right. Like if you're gonna put yourself in a situation to you got to try to be as you got to be prepared.
You got to time it.
You got to time it. Right.
You can't be too early. You can be too late.
I've made mistakes myself early, and the reason why I can say that is because I've made mistakes early too. I've done shows that I wasn't prepared for, based on certain opportunities. Yeah. And it set me back. So it's a live and learn process. Yeah.
Because the same people that you want to see you, those are the same people you bomb. They're going to remember that.
Yes.
So we're going to put yourself in front of them. You got to bring it.
You got to bring it. Yeah. You got to bring it. Yeah. I don't know if you're trying to imply like I'm not doing well, but the way he was looking at me really kind of made me feel like now after this I'm going to go write and I'm going to go, can I do your show tomorrow? What the fuck is going on? I need the way he looked at me was like, I'm not doing anything. Like
see,
I'm just you gave me that pressure, like, okay, I gotta go work now.
Nah, I thought I was looking at the camera, but I was looking.
So you got to I know we gotta get out of here, but you got a show right tomorrow, right? So tonight, give me a date, but I know you got a show tomorrow, but bring
tonight I'm featuring for Yamanika in Stress. New Jersey.
Stress Factory, yeah.
Yeah, Stress Factory, New Jersey. And then tomorrow I'm headlining Punchline Philly.
What? Punchline Philly?
Yeah.
My man. Woo!
I'm excited, dude.
How's brotherly love, man? I was in Philly at Helium.
You know, Godfrey helped me get there.
Yeah.
He didn't, he gave me a guest spot.
Right.
And I did really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rachel, she gave me her card.
Right.
She's like, "You're really funny." And then she put me in the All Stars thing.
And you did well. And you did good.
And I did well. And then she's like, "Okay, next time I'll let you headline." And then she let me headline a 30-minute spot.
Nice.
And then after that I was like, "Can I do an off night, like a full headline?" And she was like, "Sure."
Sure.
And now.
And that's what day?
Tomorrow. April 3rd.
Yo, if anybody in Philly, please go see Vishnu in Philly.
Thank you.
Support the brother. The guy is very, very funny.
Thank you.
And he's real. I fuck with real people, man.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
You know what I mean? And I think you pay you everything that you're getting, and it's all deserved.
Thanks,
it's not you paid a price to get here. A lot of people probably don't. They think what we do. You paid a price, and you keep doing it. Where can they find you?
At comic_wish, VISH, wish with a V, comic wish.
Yeah, we'll definitely put
Instagram or TikTok or anywhere.
TikTok. I wish I could see your TikTok. Your TikTok would probably be so funny. Do you just look at the TikTok and don't say anything? Because that's. I'm Chase Abel, guys. Cut to the Chase podcast. You guys can follow me at Chase Abel, ABEL. Instagram. Obviously, www.chaseable.com. All my dates there. Actually, I have no dates after talking to Vishnu. I got to get back to work, I have no dates going forward. Vishnu, man.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
And
hopefully we'll do this another time.
You waiting.
No, man. Yeah, I don't know how they say, how do you say in Hindu, it's not Hindu, but.
Shukriya. I think that means thank you.
Oh, it's interesting. In Arabic, shukran means thank you.
Dude, there's so many similarities. Like even like God, like Isha is like I think Jewish
Asha.
And Asha, and even for us, Isha is like the.
Yeah, what the fuck we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Honestly, people get it together, bro.
Yeah.
Everything's connected.
Yep.
Just understand history.
Yep.
Cut to the Chase podcast. We out.